A very good morning to all of you, my dear students. Today we will study that how we will design a digital filter from an analog filter. In our previous classes, we have studied that it will be easier way to design a digital filter using or from analog filter. For that, we have studied that we have to map between analog and digital domain. As we all know, for analog part, we are having our Laplace transform, and for digital part we are having our Z transform. So if we map S plane with the Z plane, then the mapping will create a relationship between the Fourier Laplace domain and the Z domain, that is the analog and the digital domain. Now my analog filters, those we use normally Butterworth and Chebyshev filter that I have given you in the class notes of my previous classes. From that part we can get or we can create the transfer functions of digital filters, and using those transfer function we can create or we can evaluate the digital filter. Now let's start with the system function of analog filter. Let's take H suffix AS. This A is for analog, HS, as this is in S domain in for analog filter. For digital filter normally the transfer function is taken as HZ. As we are taking for our analog filter and it is in Laplace domain, that's why we are taking HS suffix A, which is given for analog. So HAS is the system function of the analog filter, and it can be expressed as summation k equals to 1 to n Ck S minus Pk. The numerator part is having Ck and the denominator part is having S minus Pk. The slides I have already given to you people. So Ck by S minus Pk. This Ck is nothing but the coefficient of partial fraction expansion. We have already did the partial fraction expansion for Hz in our Z transform classes. So we know what are the coefficient of partial fraction expansion, how it's come, because we all know any signal can be given as sinusoidal and cosinusoidal signal, and that is nothing but having coefficient in case of all the domains. So Ck is coming from that part. Ck is the coefficient of partial fraction expansion, and Pk are the poles of the analog filter. We know that whenever we are having transfer function, we have the poles and zeros. Normally the poles are playing very vital role in the creation or in the properties of any type of transfer function. So poles are very important. This Pk are the poles of the analog filter. That k will change, the pole will change. Maybe it is S minus P1 is into S minus P2 into S minus P3, where k is 1 to n, so it can go up to Pn. Okay, so there are several poles, not a single pole. So these are the poles of analog system. Okay, now if we take the inverse transform of this, so it will become Ht. In inverse transform we will have to go back in our time domain, so it should be Ht. A is given as analog, it is written as small ht with a suffix H suffix A T, that is analog Ht, that is our inverse Laplace transform function. It is given as summation k equals to 1 to n Ck e to the power Pkt for t greater than equals to 0. For t greater than equals to 0. Okay, so this is our inverse Laplace transform of this equation. Now if we sample Hat periodically, now we are going from analog to digital. The first thing that we have to go for or opt for when we are changing an analog signal to a digital signal is sampling. So if I go for sampling, that means now I am going from analog to digital. The proper signal or the analog signal is sampled. That means we are now discretizing the signal. So now we are sampling the signal periodically. T equals to NT. This is the basic thing of digital. Whenever your T is equals to NT, you are moving from analog to digital. So now in case of T is equal to NT, your Hn, now it is becoming N in this digital domain, not T, is nothing but HANT. If I place NT here at this small t, we are placing NT, that is given as HN, digital domain. Digital domain we don't use T, it is N. The sampling is in case of N. It is nothing but summation k equals to 1 to capital N Ck Pk. In the place of this T, it will be N capital T. So we are placing N capital T. Clear? This is my equation number 13. Now let's go for the next part. We all know the expression for Z transform. The expression for Z transform is nothing but Hz equals to summation n equals to 0 to infinity Hn z to the power minus n. This is all of we know this. We have studied it in our Z transform classes. Hz is equal to n equals summation n equals to 0 to infinity Hn z to the power minus n. So if I go for equation number 13 and equation number 14, finally what we get? Summation Hn is nothing but summation k equals to 1 to n Ck e to the power Pknt. So summation n equals k equals to 1 to n. This total is within summation 0 to infinity with multiplied by z to the power minus n, because we are just changing the value of Hn from equation 13. So this is my new equation of Hz that we are getting. So now if we split the equation, we take Ck outside summation k equals to 1 to n Ck. Here summation n equals to 0 to infinity e to the power Pkt z to the power minus 1 to the power n, we can write to the power n, because we are having Pknt and z to the power minus n. So if we take n common to the power, so it will be to the power Pkt z to the power minus 1 to the power n. So this part will remain summation k equals to 1 to n Ck. This is nothing but a to the power n, summation 0 to infinity a to the power n, that is the n will change, a to the power 0 plus a to the power 1 plus a to the power 2 plus a to the power 3 plus dot 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 a to the power n. This is nothing but in my binomial equation form, this is coming 1 by 1 minus a. So this part is becoming 1 by 1 minus e to the power Pkt z inverse, and this will remain summation k equals to 0 to n Ck into 1 by e to the power Pkt z inverse. So it will become summation k equals to 1 to n Ck divided by 1 minus e to the power Pkt z inverse. This is my new equation for Hz. Now if HAS we have already studied k equals to 0 to n Ck minus Pk, where Pk is the pole, Ck is the coefficient, and Hz equals to Ck divided by 1 minus e to the power Pkt z inverse. Upper part is same, just the change is there in the lower part. Look at this. So this is the thing Hz. Now for high sampling rate, my Hz will be having high gain, means my digital filter is having high gain for high sampling rate. Please remember this thing, high gain for high sampling rate. So for that purpose the digital filter gain will become also high. So in that case my sampling time t is very small, and in that part Hz should be the same thing, but the Ck will be multiplied with the capital T only for the high sampling rate, that is very small sampling time, means for the very small your sampling space. very high sampling rate, the gain will increase, and in that case it will be multiplied with this t as very first the samples are passing, almost equals to your analog samples it is becoming. So in that case we will have t into ck divided by 1 minus e to the power pk t z inverse. Now from here the transfer function is coming, so from here we can evaluate the digital filter. So let's go for an example and we will clarify how we were getting from that. Prior to that we will recapitulate the steps. So the steps to design digital filter using impulse invariance method, very important this part, please note. Step to design a digital filter using impulse invariance method. Step 1. For a given specification of HAS, the transfer function of analog filter. For a given specification, find HAS, the transfer function of analog filter. HAS should be found for the given specification, or in some case maybe that HAS is already given. Okay. Number 2. Select the sampling rate of the digital filter, that capital T, because that is a very vital thing, you have to multiply that T. Number 3. Express the analog filter transfer function as the sum of single pole filter. Now the transfer function of the analog filter should be given in such a way that the denominator part should have the multiple terms of poles, that is s minus p1 into s minus p2, in this way, so that we can clarify the poles. Until and unless we are getting the poles of analog filter, we can't plot that poles in S domain and we can't get the Z domain poles. These analog filter poles are the S domain pole. Now we have to map that to the Z domain poles. Until we are getting the poles, how we will map to the Z domain part? So we have to map it to the Z domain, and after that whenever the Z domain poles are mapped, now we are getting the poles in Z domain, we can go for the Z domain. Compute the Z transform. Now check, whenever you are getting the poles in S domain, you yourselves are mapping them in Z domain, and now you are creating the transform, Z transform of the digital filter using this formula. We get this formula, or we have evaluated for this formula just now. And for high sampling rate we have evaluated T, so for high sampling rate just multiply T with this. So let's go for an example. The example, the HS is given 2 by S plus 1 S plus 2, and you have to evaluate HZ using impulse invariance method. Assume T equals to 1 second, capital T equals to 1 second. So HS is given, we have to go for partial fraction method, that is A by S plus 1 plus B plus S plus 2, sorry, A by S plus 1 plus B by S plus 2. Then this part, the left side part is nothing but HS, that is 2 by S plus 1 into S plus 2. So if we again simplify this part, it is becoming S plus 1 into S plus 2, A into S plus 2 plus B into S plus 1. Again from this side we are having this part. So from here 2 equals to A into S plus 2 plus B into S plus 1. From here, if S is equal to minus 2, we will get the value of B. If S is equal to minus 1, we will get the value of A. A is 2 and B is minus 2 from this partial fraction part. So HS is nothing but 2 by S plus 1 minus 2 by S plus 2. Okay. So, or we can write 2 by S minus minus 1 minus 2 by S minus of minus 2. We are creating the pole in this part this way because we need the minus sign over here. So our poles are at minus 1 and minus 2. So in impulse invariance technique, we have if HS is equal to this, then HZ is equal to this. We have created this. Now S minus PK is transformed to 1 minus e to the power PK T Z to the power minus 1. After mapping, this will happen. So there are two poles. P1 equals to minus 1, P2 is equal to minus 2. From here minus 1 and minus 2, two poles are there. So Hz is equal to 2 by 1 minus e to the power minus tz to the power minus 1 for this minus 1, and 2 by 1 minus e to the power minus 2t, this pk, you are giving the value of this pk. Pk is minus 1 and minus 2. Here we are placing pk equals to minus 1 and here we are placing pk equals to minus 2. So this is coming. For t equals to 1 second, these 2's are the ck's. So ck is multiplied with capital T. Capital T is 1, so it will remain as it is. So this will again having 2 by 1 minus e to the power minus 1's value into z to the power minus 1, e to the power minus 2's value into z to the power minus 1. So finally the result is hz into hz is equal to, just simplify this, you will get the result hz is equal to this. So this is the final result you will get. Okay, the next sum I will give you for your assignment, so be prepared for that. Thank you.